And what you are saying reminds me. In your book, you talk. There are one or two chapters. I don't know exactly how many chapters, but there are a very interesting subject, a very interesting research you have done on the different type of conversations
Uh-huh.
that the leaders have, and we as executive coaches can help them to develop.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about it?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a whole range of conversations. Some of them start out with just the outcome conversation. What do you really want? And amazingly, most people don't know what they want.
Yeah.
And getting really clear about what they want. So that's one conversation. Another conversation would be the confrontation conversation. If there's any skill that a leader needs to have, is the ability to bring up something that could be unpleasant and get it on the table and talk it through and deal with conflict when it's small and manageable instead of waiting until it becomes large and unmanageable. So the conflict conversation. The challenge conversation. The conversation that we have about challenging someone to step up, and whether that's for the executive or what the executive also does, challenging people to step up. There's the integrity conversation. So just given the way society has moved, there's less and less tolerance for corruption and lack of integrity. And when people lie and cheat and betray trusts, it's going to corrode and corrupt the organization. And it's just a matter of time. And if Enron taught us anything, if WorldComp taught us anything, if the .com crash taught us anything, if you're cheating and lying and betraying and cooking the books, it's going to catch up. And sooner or later,
Yeah.
and that will create derailment. It'll send executives not only out of the C-suite, it'll send some of them to jail.
Yeah.
So we need to have the conversation of integrity. Are we living with integrity in this organization, or are there a lot of secrets and hidden agendas that's playing politics, which then brings up the political conversation?
Yeah.
We need to talk about what are the vested interests that are at disarray, and how can we create coalition among them?
We are talking here of a type of coaching that go beyond just sitting down with executive. We are talking here about a methodology that changed the culture.
Yeah.
And we are talking here also about, by default, about team coaching. We are
Right.
talking here about observing behaviors. We are talking here about giving feedback.
Yeah.
We are talking here about self-development. So
A lot.
a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
And all these topics are under an executive coach, a well-developed, a well-trained executive coach should be able to manage
Yeah.
this type of topics we are talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the domain of executive coaching.
Yeah.
All
right.
of those things you just mentioned.
Michael, you just mentioned something that we have talked in other moments about the work of Fernando Flores. He gives a lot of emphasis on trust, and you just mentioned
Right.
integrity. We just mentioned trust.
Right.
What are your thoughts about this? How to build trust in an organization? How we as a coaches can help to an executive to build trust?
Yeah. So when it comes to trust, we got the word trust, and then we got the word trustworthiness. So if I trust someone who's not trustworthy, I'm a fool. So trust is appropriate if someone is worthy of trust. So these two are two sides of the same thing, trust and trustworthiness. So if I want people to trust me, I need to be trustworthy. I need to be worthy of trust. And what makes me worthy is what I say and what I do, they're aligned.
All right.
So you can trust that what I say is what I will do, that my word is my bond of commitment and relationship. Because if I have a history, I say, I talk, but I don't do,
Yeah.
why would you trust me?
And
Why would anybody trust me?
that's pretty common. In a project, you need to coordinate actions, and and every coordination is based on trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if there is no trust, there is no company in the long run.
So the leader has to practice saying and doing and aligning them. And this brings up the alignment conversation that we have with executives. What are you saying that you're not doing?
Well, okay.
And if you say something and you see that I can't do that, don't hide it. Let people know. Because then they'll know the new word will be, well, I can't come through on that time, that date, or in that way. And then people can trust that the leader will keep me informed.
Mm-hmm. If we are talking about executive coaching, this is meaningful in terms of profits. You mentioned it at the beginning of our conversation. Yeah. Some people don't see the connection between the behavior of a leader, how it is related to the behavior of a team, and profits. Can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts of how these three elements connect?
Okay.
The behavior of the leader, the behavior of the team, the coordination of actions, the trust between them, and profits.
Yeah. Well, if you think of an organization as the coordination of lots of activities, first, whoever is thinking about, let's go in that direction, let's reach that market with this product and service. So they got the vision, they get someone to design what we're going to do. After we have the design, we get some managers to hire people with those skills who can do that. And so we have, as you said, all the coordination, all these activities. If it's not coordinated, there's going to be a lot of waste. So in turn, if it's effective, if this product will reach that market and have a return on value, if it's effective and there's going to be an ongoing market for it, then we need some efficiency. So that's the role of managers. Managerial leadership is creating efficiency in this system. But a system will only work efficiently if there is information and relationship that keeps it all connected. That's the role of the visionary leadership.
You told me last night that you are very interested in politics.
Yeah.
And the next book you are going to that you are already writing is about politics. Yeah. And it makes for me a lot of sense that if an executive coach can help a leader to develop a culture, to be productive, we can think about a country, we can think about the planet in kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this project you are now engaged with. This interest that I have noticed in you about politics. What are you doing about this, and how do you relate it to coaching?
Yeah. Well, interesting enough, the word politics comes from polis. Polis means city. Polis is how we manage a household, how we manage a community of people. Well, there are organizations that are larger than many cities. And so how do they manage themselves? How do they create rules for getting along? How do they create rules for deviance? How do they create rules for the culture, for what they're going to do, for rewarding? So politics is just how we get along with each other, or not get along with each other. And business politics, politics in the boardroom, politics on the floor, is how we get along with each other or not, and how we the rules, the processes by which that occurs. When we transfer that to a city, and so the city politics, or a state or a government, once again, it's just how we get along with each other. And we humans have not been very successful in that.
Living together.
Living
Working
together. So that we can create a sense of a community thriving, and not at the expense, not on the back of certain people, but that everybody reaps the same rewards, or similar rewards. So in business, at least, business leaders are far, far ahead, decades and decades ahead of political leaders. Business leaders have learned, if they don't learn to get along with people and treat their people well, they're going to be out of business.
Yeah, right.
Political leaders haven't learned that lesson yet.
Oh, that's a strong statement. You're making.
So in most countries, political leaders can pull the strings and get reelected, even if a great many people know that they're cheating, they're corrupt, they're doing this and that, because they think, well, they'll promise me something, so I'll vote for him even though he's hurting some others. And so political leaders have not learned as much as business leaders. So what we need are some good, ethical leaders in politics with the integrity that we have in some business leaders. And given the fact that we've had really those kinds of leaders in politics, Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, it's possible. So all we need to do is start pushing that way, first at the local levels, and then moving up to levels, and we can change that culture. We can change our political culture in different countries and around the world.
So that's the topic you are working now?
No, that's the topic.
From the standpoint of coaching too?
Yeah.
Well, that's quite interesting. That might be the next interview I will have with you.
Okay.
Well, Michael, thanks a lot for being with us. Thanks a lot for allow this interview.
Oh, my pleasure.
I know that many people will be delighted to know to watch this interview with Dr. Michael Hall. And we are inviting you to the different programs we have, and coaching, and executive coaching, the program and meta coaching, and a lot of products that are very well researched, and that can really, really help your organization to go to the next level. Dr. Michael Hall, my name is Omar Salom, and we are really glad to have the chance to have this conversation. Thank you very much. Bye now.